Yeah, I'm saying, mate, listen, I don't know how we're doing this, but for like 80% of the time, we look like we haven't got a clue. And then for that 20%, we're on it. And thank God we're able to be ruthless enough to take the 3 points and get those chances taken. It was a tale of two halves once again, really, wasn't it?
Yes, no, definitely. What changed? What brought it back into our favour? Because obviously the first 70 minutes or 80 minutes, as you said, weren't great. But what's brought it back into Spurs' hands?
Do you know what, Marlon, brother? I wish I knew. It's like you look at it, and I started looking at it. We heard that, listen, one game a week, we should be fired up and ready to go. Then we heard the injuries, and when everyone comes back, things will change. And obviously these things have happened, and it wasn't. I don't know if the midfield at one point looked like it was non-existent. The creativity that we used to have every single game just looked like it was clueless and didn't know what it's doing. And then all of a sudden, bang, they switch it on. I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. But I thought after Eze with a wonderful free kick, I was like, oh, here we go again. We go again. All this possession. And it was ridiculous that one time I heard 81% at some points in the first half. And just to do nothing with it, I was just like, we haven't got a clue, but we found a way. We found a way.
I wonder whether, in terms of talking about why we were able to play so well in that kind of last 20 minutes, I'd been talking a bit earlier on about, because us having so much possession, like you said, 80-odd%, Palace were doing a lot of chasing all game, and I just wonder if fatigue started to set in a little bit in that last 20 minutes, obviously helped by the fact that we equalised and then the kind of shift in momentum. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
You know what I will say, Barry, and if people are big enough to criticise him, and this guy's coming for a hell of a lot of criticism, then you have to give praise where praise is due. Brennan Johnson, all right, he missed a scissor, and you could hear the moans and groans in the stadium and everyone. What he did to get that set up that equaliser, the tenacity, the willpower, the commitment, and then to put a ball in like that for Timo Werner, who after the first half miss, which was awful, thankfully put that away and is now off the up and running. Brennan Johnson deserved an enormous amount of credit. Listen, I've given him a bit of criticism, but I've stood by him. And today, hopefully, we keep saying this with players, hopefully that's the spark that now does it. But I think this is what he needs to do, come on as an impact sub. That's what I think he originally came for to begin with. And he deserves a huge slice and a huge chunk of credit today.
Talk me through what your reaction and the rest of the pub's reaction was when Timo Werner tried to take it round the keeper.
Mate, you know what it was? Obviously, you look back at the Sun goal, and as soon as Sun was through 1-on-1, you knew it. You knew it was one of those where you could put the ball back at the halfway line, you knew it was a goal. Yeah. Timo Werner, and I think what's being overlooked in it, we'll get on to the miss, is his incredible first touch to set him off and running. And then he was clean through and had the whole time, did the right thing taking the goalie round, but I think he should have taken one more touch just to get round him. And that was a sheer lack of confidence. I mean, that he probably wanted the ground to swallow him up. Yeah. It was a howler. It really was bad. And you just thought this guy can't catch a break and low on confidence. And then thankfully he got that.
Yeah,
go on, Barnaby.
I'm just going to show my age here because that first touch actually was identical to Michael Owen's first touch in the Argentina
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I was going to say that, but obviously I didn't want to test the water. Like you said, we're showing our age, mate. We're getting old.
We are.
But you're right. It was literally Barnaby, the same place in the ground as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was literally.
That first touch is harder technically than a finish. I personally don't think he should have tried to take it round the goalkeeper. I think he'd got himself in a good position to just stroke it home exactly how Sonny did. But I agree with you completely. Confidence.
Yeah, that's what I think did it, Barnaby. I think if that had been Human Son in that position, it would have been 1-0 at the time, and he wouldn't have taken it around the goalkeeper. But when you're bereft of confidence and you just want to make absolutely sure. Yeah. He wanted to obviously nullify the goalkeeper, and he did to some extent, but then that one extra touch could have done it. But thankfully, he was able to take the second one. I mean, if he had missed that one, my God, the knives would have been out. But now he's up and running.
What did you think of the team selection then when it first came out today? Obviously, the main changes are Bentancur in for Sarr. Obviously, we knew Rishi was out, so Timo starting, and Royal keeping his place at right back.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's go for it. So Royale, I really would like to see him Dragon Machine at right back, because I believe I've been told he can play in that position. Don't quote me on it, but if he can, I would have liked to have seen him in that position. Sarr being out, I even tweeted about it saying I'm shocked at that, but I think from what I heard, he's got a slight strain and they didn't want to risk him. And I would have wanted to see Basuma out rather than Bentancur, even though Bentancur's been off the ball. So I was a bit bemused by that when I originally saw it, but I understand it. And we all knew that was going to be the front lineup, didn't we, with Richarlison now. I didn't know if he'd play Werner in the centre, but he went for Sonny in the front, in the middle, and it paid off. And now, hopefully, another week with rest and a huge game coming up next week. Massive.
I was saying to Marlon just before this show started that I think we look better with Son in the 9. What do you think?
Yeah. I think, listen, I've been a fan of Richarlison. I think people will say that he's not good enough and he's not doing enough. He was scoring the goals that got us out of jail, and he was regularly scoring. But it's undeniable. The best outside is in the centre. I think there's some stupid stat where his goal for game ratio for playing in the centre is absolutely top draw. And I think he has to be there. He has to. If we want Champions League, and we want to make full stars, he has to start in the centre. He has to.
I think he just looks after the ball a bit better, and he made some interesting little angles coming deep at times to try and move around their centre halves that I don't think Richarlison is quite clever enough to do. And then obviously, that one-on-one, Richarlison wouldn't have actually had the pace to get away from the defender, I don't think there. Which
exactly.
That's just the way it is.
And we'll put it this way as well, Barnaby. If it was Richarlison going through one-on-one, do you have the same confidence as you do with Sonny going through one-on-one in positions like that?
Not really, no.
That's the thing. That's what it comes down to. With Sonny, we've seen him do it so many times, like the 3-1 at Leicester at Wembley. So many times where you see him pick up the ball from deep, running through, and you're just like, right, put the ball back at the halfway line because it's a goal. And he's brilliant at doing that. But as good as Richarlison has been, do we have the confidence to say, yeah, he's putting that in the bottom corner or putting it through and scoring the goal? I just don't know. But Richarlison has been good this season. He's got us out of jail a number of times, but there is a big difference between the two of them in the centre.
I'm going to say it now. Against Villa's high line next week, Werner and Son will have one-on-ones, guaranteed. And if Sonny gets to win one-on-one, you'd back him, especially against a good one-on-one keeper, Martinez, a lot more than anybody else. I think there'll be a lot of chances next week. It'll be a really fascinating game. Probably end up about 4-4.
Yeah, probably be a high-scoring game.
Mate, listen, forget the score, mate. This is Matty, Cash, and Romero coming together, and who's going to clatter into each other first?
Well, Cash won't go anywhere near him, will he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's probably put a restraining order out on him, Marlon.
Yeah.
They'll try and get Romero sent off for sure, but
100%, Mark Barnaby, 100%.
What's your prediction for that game, Brian?
Oh Jesus, why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna go 3-2 Tottenham just because I've got my Tottenham heart on. If I was to go with my Tottenham head, probably a 3-3 draw.
I don't know, maybe this will come back to bite me, but I actually just feel relieved in advance that we're not going to have to play a deep block.
Yeah, there is. I mean, listen, Villa, you got to remember Villa at home as well are a different animal. They are a different animal. I mean, they're playing Luton right now. Let's just hope Luton can do a job for us. And then we go above them with a win at Villa Park. But it is a huge game. It's a must-win. We have to take advantage from these 3 points to keep in touching distance with them. Hope Manchester City can get the 3 points tomorrow and put Manchester United a bit away from us.
Yeah.
And capitalise on this opportunity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Brian, mate, thank you so much for calling in. Have a brilliant rest of your night. Hope you're having a few drinks, mate.
Mate, as a recovering alcoholic, I'm having a few Cokes, mate. I'm having a few Coca-Colas.
Exactly what I meant. Exactly what I meant.
Exactly, man. I'm getting high on the sugar. I might do a few J2O shots just to mix it up.
Top man. Thanks again, Brian.
All right, boys.
Brian.
See you later on. Have a great weekend, people. Bye-bye.